I just want peony flowers all over the yard. Hi gardeners, it's Mary Jane here, and today I'm planting peony roots in the springtime. So in the early spring there are a ton of different varieties of peonies available at the garden center. This is a bag of 4 peony roots from Costco, and I'm going to go ahead and plant them here in the garden by the bird bath. I love growing peonies in the garden because they're very easy. Once you get them in the ground and happy and established, they'll live for years, like decades. So they're really easy to grow, and they're of course beautiful and low maintenance too. They have fantastic flowers in May and June depending on where you live and your climate, but they also have nice foliage for the rest of the year too. I love buying peony plants as roots, so in a bag rather than as a potted plant. They're available earlier in the season. There's so many more kinds, at least here locally. And the price per plant is usually much lower when you're buying the roots as opposed to the full-on potted plant a little bit later in the year. Some specialty peony roots are available in the fall, which is actually a really nice time to plant them. But in terms of local garden centers, the selection is fantastic early in the spring. Okie dokie, here we go. So this is the bag of peonies. There's 4 roots in this bag. They're usually packaged in loose peat or sawdust inside the inner plastic bag. Let's have a look at the individual roots here. Just cut the bag open. Then I can have a look at the roots. So here's the first root. You can see that it's been cut off a larger, more established, older root. I'm looking for the eyes, so these little pink bits, that's where the stems are going to come up from, and the flowers. So I want to make sure that I know where those are, first of all, so that I can place them up at the top so that they're wanting to grow up into the air instead of down to the ground, but also I want to make sure that they're just like an inch or 2 below the surface. So I want to make sure I know where the eyes are on each of these. Here's the second one. So it looks a little bit different, but still, yeah, a peony root. So looking for the eyes and just gently kind of brushing off the little beads of peat so that I can find where the eyes are, those little pink buds that are going to become the stems. Here's another root. The eyes on it, the little buds, aren't quite as pink as the others, but they're still where the stems are going to come out from. It looks like they're already growing a little bit. So I want to make sure that these are facing up and able to grow up into the air with an inch or 2 of soil cover. So I've taken a look at the roots, found where the eyes are, and now I can set these aside while I dig the holes for these peonies. Now that I can kind of see what's going on with each of these roots, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to soak them for a couple hours just to make sure that the roots are really hydrated when they go in the ground. All right, so the peony roots have been soaking here, and we've got the planting holes ready for them. It's a little easier to see the eyes after they've soaked because the water has washed them off a little bit. So you can see the pink eyes quite clearly on this. So I want to make sure that those are located at the top. I don't want to plant them face down. I want them at the top of the root. And I want to position them in the planting hole so that there's space for 1 to 2 inches of soil on top of the eyes, but no more. If you plant peonies too terribly deep, like with more than 2 inches of soil on top of them, it can affect the blooming. You may not get as many flowers. So I want to be really careful to put about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches, but no more of garden soil on top of these eyes. So once the peony root is in the hole and I feel like it's at a nice elevation, I'm going to backfill around the side so I can just see the eyes. And then after that, I'll put the 1 to 2 inches of soil on top of the whole area. That way I can feel comfortable. I'm not putting too much or too little soil on top of them, just that 1 to 2 inches. Here's another one of the peony roots that's soaked. This one, the eyes aren't quite as pink. They're a little more cream colored, but they are right there at the top. So I'm going to make sure that I get this root situated so that I can backfill around it and still have room for that 1 to 2 inches of soil on top of the eyes. Now I'm going to go ahead and water them again with my ancient watering can here, which I love. If this video is helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That helps YouTube send it out to more and more people. And who doesn't want more peonies in this world? One thing you'll notice that I did not do is fertilize the peonies when I planted them. I like to wait until the stems are, 6 inches to a foot tall before I apply organic fertilizer. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them naturally sprout and wake up before I go ahead and hit them with some spring organic fertilizer. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I go ahead and invite you to check out my channel page and see if there's any other flowers there that you would like to grow or any other plants that you're interested in growing indoors or out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.